If I could tell you what it really feels like, do you think that it would change a thing? Do you think that it would change a thing? You said your name was Juliet, a shock to learning you regret, but you're not ready to commit treason against a family set of rules. Your mind that hangs above your head like a prison. And I showed up like Romeo to save you from your life, but you just sentenced me to death or exile. And now I'm lying at the altar without you, and I'm drinking the vial. If I could tell you what it really feels like, do you think that it would change a thing? Do you think that it would change a thing? So tell me how it's possible to be so unpredictable, but keep up such a scripted scene. How did you get so complicated and walk out on me? And maybe when I'm Romeo and Juliet, but when you said forever, I took it literally. I never thought you'd be the one smiling on the end of the blade that I bleed. If I could tell you what it really feels like, do you think that it would change a thing?
Hey there, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Smashing Crossbar Podcast. I'm Josh, as always, joined by Benny. How are you, mate?
Great. I mean, aside from having COVID right now, yeah, great. It only took me 4 years.
I was going to say, you three jabs later and 4 years of waiting for it. You know, it's about time.
Yeah, we got there eventually.
Yeah, very good, very good. Welcome, guys. Welcome, Noopy. Dylan Smith's in here. Lukey's in here as well. Welcome, guys. So, before we get, obviously, the reason we're here underway, big shout out to Gabriel May Optometrist at Jesmond, our major sponsor, and the Kafi Cafe, top of town. I say it every week, guys. Be sure to go in and see those guys. Support local businesses for all your eye care needs. And if you want the best coffee in Newcastle, go see the Kafi Cafe. So, yeah, let's get underway. Obviously, last week we had Morris on, and it was great to chat to him. We thank him for his time 2 weeks in a row. So it was great to get him back and obviously get your questions answered there. Tonight, we're lucky to be joined by the gaffer. It's off season, so we'd like to think that he's enjoyed his time off. Maybe a nice holiday, a bit of relaxation. We'll find out. But how's everything travelling, mate?
Yeah, it's nice to be back in Newcastle. Had to resettle, so once I sorted that out, we're back training as well. So yeah, my off season was short. I didn't really go away. I did the All Stars, so I wanted a bit of personal development there as well. So just to work with some different players and work with some different people and. It was an opportunity to see different opposition and things like that. So I sort of didn't pass it up. I kind of wouldn't say it was a holiday. We worked quite hard, but a little trip to Melbourne and then I come back and I've just been really hanging around the house in Sydney and back and forth to Newcastle, relocating and setting up. So yeah, back in now and back to work.
Yeah, obviously, big congratulations for the call up for the All Stars, mate. Well deserved as far as I'm concerned. You done really well last year, so
mate, I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
really good. My reason was to Kay's an interesting character, and I didn't really have any sort of relationship with him. And then coming in and then working with him, I was able to observe and work with him how he operates. So I wanted to just see. I've worked for some really good coaches like Graham Arnold and Steve and others, So just an opportunity to see how others do things as well. And, he gave me plenty of scope and, the compliment was, returned as well with good feedback to each other on what we learned from each other. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. Again, opportunity to work with different players as well, connect with some of those players. It was really good. It's obviously a high standard, and Stemmer was there too, which is great. It was great to see a Newcastle player involved, and it would have been nice if we got to play maybe Newcastle's best team. And I think the fans got a little bit robbed there, which is disappointing. But in the end, we were quite ruthless with the way we went about it, and I think we did really well considering. So.
Yeah. Again, it would have been nice to sort of play some of the biggest stars in their side, but at the same time, big learning curve for their youngsters, I guess. coming over, and which they probably sort of thought, not a walk in the park, but it should be a victory, I guess. But obviously, it definitely wasn't. They touched them up real good.
No, they nearly copped one of their biggest defeats in
Great
the
game.
club's history. So,
Yeah.
from a PR perspective, it probably backfired in the end. Look, to be fair to Newcastle, they had a big injury list in their Premier League season. So if you really look deep into it, so those games were something probably Eddie Howe and his coaching staff really didn't want to do. So Ange played them with Tottenham. They were probably in the same boat due to whatever commercial commitments they had. But then followed up with an All-Stars game was like, mate, overload for players that were already overloaded. So I kind of understood it. Maybe it wasn't the best timing for the game, but the disappointing thing is, whenever you present yourself, you represent your club and the game. So, yeah, look, in the end, I think the fans just got shortchanged a little bit. So that's the only disappointing thing. But because we don't really need that in the game. We're trying to, the one previously of Barcelona was a hit. It was fantastic. It was unbelievable. So I think everyone sort of was thinking it would be something like that with a full strength Newcastle team. But again, they just didn't, off the back of a huge season. So.
Yep.
I kind of understood Eddie Howe's perspective as well, why he didn't risk players in the turnaround.
Yeah, no, exactly right. Regardless of the result and regardless, at the end of the day, as you said, Stammer getting on the pitch, getting on the score sheet, then getting obviously the call up to the Socceroos, massive for him. Again, well deserved. He was brilliant last season, so it was good for him.
It's good to see. Like it's there's Ben Van Dawson's just had a call up for the young Socceroos, so he's come on to the A-League roster this year. Deserved it too. He's been leading the way in our NPL team. Done a terrific job, like a few others have as well. So that's a reward for him. There'll be another announcement on another player for international call up as well. So there's been some really good things. I'm really happy with that. Timing's not great for us at the moment, but in the end, I want the players to rise and go to another level. And when they get picked for the national team, whatever level, that means they're doing that. So it's great for other players to look at, and the rest of the boys in the team have all contributed to the success of Stammer's national team call up. So it's good reward, and it's hopefully we'll get some more. And it's great to have a Newcastle player playing for the Socceroos at the moment. I think we haven't had it for a while, and I think really want to amp it up a bit and get a couple more in the future would be great.
Exactly right. Everyone in the chat, if you've got any questions for Rob, feel free to whack him in the chat. Just try and keep them to sort of questions that in his sort of realm, the coaching side of things. There's a few questions in there that we'll get answered in the coming weeks and coming months leading into the season. But look, obviously we've returned to training. How's everyone settling in? We've got obviously a very young squad. I was talking to Ryan Scott the other day, and I said, "Geez, you must feel old." And he's he's not that old himself. There's plenty of young talent in there. So how's that all coming along after the first week?
You look, the boys they hit the ground running. They did a 34K week, which is quite big. Obviously, we've copped a bit of rain the last couple of days. We missed one session. We did a gym session. Very good. We were doing some structural changes to some things we're doing. I'm just trying to, because of obviously salary cap issues, less money to spend. I'm just trying to change things where I get the maximum out of all the players. So I learned a lot from all the boys last year, what they're capable of, and I just want to try and challenge them and give us the flexibility tactically, structurally, in the same principles. I don't want to go away from our aggressive play if I can, or where we're trying to be on the front foot. I'm trying to make sure that we're more consistent, making some structural changes. So that's going to take a little bit of work and time. But I think it's worth the investment, and I think in doing that, it'll give us also flexibility with hope to create a bit more depth where when we look at our bench, it'll, through the different shapes and stuff that we create on the pitch, more players are adaptable and should give us a bit more firepower, even though we will have less players, which sounds a bit strange, but the way I've been trying to build it and implement it will be good. So, we are a young team. But based on what I learned from last year and I knew we'd get better at the back last 5 games. I thought we played a really great football, and I think if that's our starting point for this year, and we can build on that,
Yep.
and I think we're on the right track. So that'll be the catch. So if we can start at the level we finished at, and then try go to another level. So that's the idea is go from being the 10th best team and aiming to be anywhere above that, and with the ultimate aim to be the best team, and not just be happy to try and make the six. We should be aiming to be the best club, the best team, and no matter how long it's going to take, we should just keep chipping away at that, because we should aim the highest. So
Yep. Very good, very good. Yeah, as we were saying, mate, we've signed a few youth players, some that have come up for our own academy, and a couple, from other clubs. Perth, Sydney, obviously is taking a nice chunk for us. So we got the young bloke on loan yesterday, and I think
yeah,
there was another one as
Yeah,
well.
Matty
So
Scarcella.
Garcella, yeah.
yeah, he's
So
a good kid. They're all good kids. Matty's a kid that Russ will be a bit of a gap filler, so he'll
Yep.
give us the depth and cover. Understands what I want, so he's got a bit of experience. If he plays an amount of minutes, we get sold. We do all right as well out of that. But it's more about I needed someone to come in that could feel that, because we've probably got a couple of kids, really young ones, we're sort of identifying in our academy that aren't really ready, but instead of signing a player at that point on 2 years, just a loan deal, maybe the year after will be one that might come through and surprises everyone, and there'll be no sort of roadblock there at that point. So, yeah, I'm just looking at strengthening the team, but also thinking about these kids coming through. I've been watching closely. That's where if we really, create that path, we'll get benefit in the future. And yeah, obviously, a couple not ready, but there's a couple that are in there now. They've done really well, and this 12 months is going to be a big shaping year for them, and about building them to another level as well. So, yeah, there's a lot of good things happening, and
yeah.
we just got to keep working at it.
Yeah, mate, that's it. We've, I've been down to a few of the youth games and so forth. Seen you down there with a few of the coaching staff and everything else. So you're obviously keeping your eye on the youth. Obviously, as we were saying before, 21 thereabouts, games unbeaten. Pretty much should hopefully have that comp
Yeah,
wrapped up and promotion
yeah.
into the next one. So, yeah, as you said,
Not
keep you
only
busy.
that, yeah, just not only that, Damien and I, and we got together and we kind of agreed that we'll make that team young. So not only is that team undefeated, the average age is 18 and a half.
Wow.
So
Yeah, right.
a lot of those kids could play a lot of them can still play 18s, and most of them 20s. So they're actually, when you average out the age, I think it's about 18 and a half. So they're actually, what we're trying to do is buy them more time to develop them,
Yeah.
expose them to senior football younger,
Yeah.
and I'm not surprised what they've done this year. And hopefully we'll get promoted, and then in that time we'll develop more players,
Yep.
and a few more scholarships in future as well. And then we'll create more depth so that we can not only play well in NPL2, but then aim to get promoted again.
Yeah.
And then they're in that top league. We've got players playing at the second highest level. We should develop more players because they're just exposed at a higher level. So,
Yep.
yeah, it's a process, but first phase is going really well. I'm happy.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
I hope to get rewards for the club and long term, but and for the players' perspective, they can see it too. As I said, I know it's the NPL3, but so young and they're undefeated. So
Yeah.
they've been marked. They're being chased the whole way. So every team wanting to beat them. So I'm really happy with it. So follow it
Yeah.
closely, and Damien's doing a terrific job with them. Terrific job.
Yeah, yeah, and again, I've been saying that for years. I reckon he's one of the best or has been one of the best coaches in Newcastle for a long time. So it's good, definitely, to see him getting the
Yeah,
rewards now. And I think Ben and I have spoken about this many a times. Just with this second division coming in, I think that's going to be a massive help for getting these sort of young 18, 19-year-old kids, getting them out on loan. into this second division again, which will obviously,
Yeah.
hopefully,
We even did that this year too. Like with keepers, we set up a program where we signed Noah James and we straight away put him out on loan to NPL one. So he got getting like 30 games this year, and now he's coming back, and we'll repeat it with another keeper, maybe Zach Bowling somewhere else, or maybe the same club, and then we'll bring another scholarship player in underneath him there. So it's like this production line. We may even look at that with one or two boys. I see one or two boys that maybe not. If we bring them into our squad, maybe we can bring them in to train a bit, try get them out to an NPL one team,
Yep.
and see with extra training with us and playing there what it does for them as well. So just looking at ways to get them up to speed, fast track them. They've sort of been neglected for a long time, and
yeah,
it's the one thing we need to change. So we've put a lot of effort into that, and Damien's huge effort into it, and I like that side of it because I think it's an important part of the club, building proper club structure. So
yeah,
I'm excited again.
yeah,
Unless you follow it closely, a lot of people don't
Yep.
know, but
Exactly.
there's a lot of good things happening there.
yeah, absolutely. And top of the table clash, I believe, on Friday night down at Bankstown. So for those guys,
Yeah.
obviously, sure, not many are going to get down there. But if there's a way to watch it, like, get behind them and go for another one. But question I've got, obviously, you're talking about Noah James. Yeah, I've said that Ben and I've been saying that again, plenty of years running. Is he going to get his chance? How's he looking now? We've pretty much only got Ryan Scott. Is he looking at number 2 this year?
100%. Yeah, that was the whole
Yeah.
plan. I felt last year, I felt he could be number 2 last year, but I think to sit and not play wasn't going to be good for him. I wanted him to go out and play games, get confidence. So now I'm going to challenge him to come back and go, righto, Ryan, you've had a top year. We know you've had a good year, but I'm going to push you to go even better. So the idea is what Ryan Scott did is that he set standards for everyone in the goalkeeping department, and they've all started to step up to it. So there's other young kids coming through as well that we've got some good boys coming through. So now Noah has to come in and say, right now I've got to go to another level. I've got 3 games under my belt in NPL one. I need to push now. If I want to take his spot, I need to go to another level because Ryan set pretty high standards. So what I'm hoping to do is the talk of a couple of years ago about goalkeepers chopping and change and a lot of this and a lot of that. That's gone now. That's gone. Now we're talking about 2 keepers are going to be fighting it out, and Ryan's obviously got the upper hand because last year, but I think it's going to last as long as one game if you don't perform, or because I'm hoping Noah James is going to be there saying, "Here I am. I want to play." Take and put pressure on him. So, and then if that's the case, Ryan will go to another level. So that's the whole idea. It is to keep developing. So
Yeah. I think obviously the joys of having 2 younger keepers, like they're that keen and determined to sort of better themselves. So hopefully us as the fans should see that on game days. So yeah,
I'm hoping that's the whole idea of it. So, but he needed those games. He just when you don't play enough games, you're not going to get better. And just didn't think that he needed to be tested. He had to, travel down there. It's not been easy. I've gone down and watched him play a few times. He's getting a lot of work. And he also trained with us. So he's actually training with us and driving down, training and playing. So he's had to work, which is good. I'm expecting a lot more. And, he's still only 22. So he's been around for a while, but I'm really, I've got high hopes for him.
Let's say, he's 22. Feels like he's been at the club for forever.
Yeah, and that's the whole that's the thing, eh? Like, I've known him for a long time. I've known about him for a long time. So when you realise he's only 22, then you got to measure it in how many exposures he's had, and those exposures at senior level is pretty much narrowed down to this year. So it was important that he got those games under his belt. And we're grateful that Olympic took him on board and we worked in with them. And so Bolo's monitored that, got all his games, give him reviews every week. So he's getting all the feedback what he would have had with us, except he's getting games. So we're getting 2 keepers exposed. So it should be one hell of a fight this year. So it should be good.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of bowlings, young Zach obviously gets his chance to step up another level, as you said. So again, it's good to see that revolving door. Noah James gets his chance to go to two, and we get that
We
younger
have
bloke.
to.
Absolutely, that's what the league's
That's
about.
we've got to make these pathways. We've got to develop them, and then at some stage he's going to play. And when he plays, it's your chance. Take it. At least he knows when he gets his chance, whether it's Zach or Noah.
Mm.
At some stage, they have a good underpinned by a good exposure level.
Yeah.
Zach's been playing in the NPL this year, so he's had plenty of
Yep.
exposures.
Yep.
This is what they need. Keepers, they need to play as well, mate. If without that
Oh yeah.
playing, they can't get their bearings. And you
Yep.
saw that with Scotty. He spent a year and a half or 2 years at Western not playing.
Yeah.
And it took a little bit to find his feet, and Noah's the same. He's had to refine his feet because it's games that they're chasing. So, yeah, we get benefit out of that. I'm happy with it.
Very good. Just a quick one on Alexander Susanjar. Probably butchered it, but I'm good at that. From Perth, massive, big boy, centre back.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on him getting him over, mate? What interested you?
Look, for me, it's that leadership. It's that he's played at a high level. He's been involved a few years back in the national team where he was close to making the World Cup team. I think he got down to the last cut. I think he might have missed the final cut, but he was in the mix, which is good. So, and he would have been at that time around about 24. So, yeah, I look at him and I go, he's a pretty solid, tough character. He's had some good coaches. He's well adverse to multiple systems.
Yep.
He played out of position last year at Perth, but I see mainly as a centre back. And in saying that, I see some of the changes I want to make. I think our other centre backs will benefit.
Yep.
There's opportunities for us to play different system this year with the same principles. He gives me that. He gives me leadership. He'll give me that experience on the pitch and that support for the other boys. He'll be an example for them. I think we got some good young centre backs who proved himself last year by being the sixth best defence. And I think at times when you look at a lot of our games, when we just needed maybe a little bit of leadership or direction when we started to get tired,
Yep.
might be just having an experienced centre back might make the difference for us in games, and it might turn those games where we had draws into wins or shutouts and things like that. But credit to the boys because we ended up the sixth best defence, so it just goes to show they got better and better and better. But again, for me, that's an exposure thing. So all I'm doing is adding some leadership and experience to already a good defence, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Ben, you got anything, mate, before I continue on?
I'd say it's probably one of the strongest defensive seasons we've had in quite a number of years, probably going back to 2018.
Yeah, when you look at it, like guys like Bogues, and I have conversation with Bogues a lot. I talk to him a lot about football things. They could go for an hours when we have a chat. I've had a chat with Topper, Taylor Regan, guys that have actually there's three top centre backs that played for Newcastle. So, those guys were great mentors and they know what's expected.
Yep.
So, they obviously watched a lot as well. So their feedback was always, hey, tell him to do this, tell him to that, and little things like that an experienced player that knows Newcastle can offer. Still should be able to do that on the pitch, So, guys like Bogues, I like to have them around at times if I can, because they know about the club. And I think we had that's probably the youngest back line, one of the youngest back lines in A-League, probably history, I reckon.
Yeah.
You look at the ages. To finish sixth, it's pretty good. I actually think, and we're aiming to be better this year. That's one thing we want to be even better at. Is defensively, but we don't want to. We're trying to be better even defensively, but not take away from our attack. It's a balancing act. You go too far and you become a little bit boring and a little bit negative.
Yeah.
And I'm very conscious of that. So it's a balancing act. So players are going to have to do things a bit better if I do try to create that better defense. But they're also going to have to be better when we have the ball. So it's a balancing act. I don't want to away from being aggressive on the attacking and to not concede goals, because I
Yeah.
think fans come to watch us try hit the back of the net. So
Yeah.
it's a real balancing act. It's going to take a bit of work, but yeah, I'm excited by it.
Yeah, which I think, speaking to Morris last week, even just having saying that he's been in contact with a lot of these past Novocastrian players, your Taylor Regans, your Bogards, and stuff like that. It's great to see. It's great to see these past players excited, I guess. Keen to see improvement from a board level, I guess, from an ownership level. Last couple of years have been a bit of hit and miss, and as we've said in the previous podcast, we do thank the guys that kept us alive. But hopefully, speaking to Morris last week and the week before that, things are on the up, I guess. And
Yeah, I
getting those
think the
past,
big change, I think some of the big changes we're looking to do, obviously Jason Hoffman's come on board. He's already made a significant contribution already, just with relocation players coming into Newcastle, helping them settle, getting on top of that. So these things are things that allow the players to hit the ground running. Commercially, he's having meetings, he's getting involved there. I've had him on pitch a little bit, coming in, introducing him to the coaching side of it. He's a bit shocked at what's involved. He didn't really realise, all the stuff going on. So I've just exposed him, and he's good because he knows everyone. He's great culturally. He's fantastic, but just a little thing. So these are the areas we have to improve the club. So obviously, like for me, it's more important we get these areas right. And I think in the long term, if we can keep growing, then, we can always expand on expenditure and that if we build wealth to the club or things like that. So at the moment, we really have to get the base better, and whether it's new staff and trying to grow more members, more income through whether it's sponsorship, commercially, build more partnerships, just more exposure of the club to the fans, whether it's through media outlets, social media, things like that. Just engaging the fans so they feel, excited about every day they read something or see something. You saw some content already exposed, some new content, new way of exposing. I think, these things the fans really want to see as well. It's about the players. For me, it's about the players, their connection with the fans and stuff like that. It's less about guys like me and other members. So, but we got to create that, feel part of it and things like that. So I think it's important. We probably neglected that area of the club from what I can see. And a club is a whole club, not just an A-League team. It's a whole club, whether it's academy, women's, men's, community, tied in commercially, partnerships and things like that. So, I think that's where the new owners will bring to the table good stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think we've seen that. Yeah, go, Benny.
Oh, I was just about to say, my relationship with the players has always been good. Hey, Jenko, come sign this Birmingham shirt that you probably haven't seen in 10 years. Like,
yeah, Jenko's a character. I got to ask the character reference on him, and I went, okay. I said, yeah, he's a good guy. He's no problems. Obviously, someone's inquired, and I said, yeah, no, he's a good pro. Jenko always the effort in, very professional. Character. The boys loved him. It was great around the change room. He contributed a lot of stuff that we needed to solve inside the change rooms at times, and him and Hoff, they were really good to make sure everything was smooth. So, and that reflected in our tail end of the season. So, yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, Dylan Smith's just put in here, mate. Just a quick one. How much effort do you reckon you're going to spend this year on shutting out games? Obviously, we touched on it before. It was definitely a little bit of an issue last 15 minutes or so, but something that you probably look at.
Yeah, look, those things are things I think. Look, a lot of the time I put it down to exposure. We were pretty high intense. We probably think in the end, I believe there's little details there in games where individuals were still doing things where they needed to just maybe be a little bit more okay. We're in this moment to close things out. I need to be a bit more position myself better. I need to be aware of danger if I bomb on at this point in time. We're in front. I need to make sure that I close it out. Yeah, look, it's a bit of the mindset was last year of just keep going. We keep playing our brand no matter what. I just want us to keep going, keep going, keep going. So now I know our limits, or I know our benchmarks. So I now need to adjust things, which I put a lot of thought into the off season about how I can protect us a little bit against things that where we can get hurt, where are the areas we got hurt, how did we get hurt. I put it down to multiple things, maybe lack a little bit of experience on the pitch at the time, a little bit of leadership, personal game management of individuals within their roles. So there's times there where maybe a player was bombing on where he didn't need to, and then we turned the ball over because we didn't have the legs to get back, and then another player was exposed, and then we copped the goal.
Yeah.
And I just thought to myself, that's just poor decision making. And so, now I know their limits. I think if you look at maybe the last 5 games, kind of look like we learned a few lessons a bit better. So, and that sort of coincided with some changes to the team as well. And I think it was a bit of a learning curve for myself, knowing our limits. At the same time, I don't want to go negative as well. I don't want to. A lot of times, I didn't want to drop into a back 5 and try hold them out. I tried that once or twice. It didn't seem to work. So it was more about probably a couple of times at the last 5 games, and say someone like Hoff came on.
Yeah,
kind of knew where okay, I don't need to bomb on here. I'll just tuck in here, and he just sort of sting out of a
hold
few
the
areas.
space.
Yeah, like things like that. So yeah, we've got to learn that. So need to find ways to that balance between still being our style but winning games. And I've already made a point to the players, and the first thing I've sort of said is last year was about exposure, growth, knowing our limits. This year's about how we're going to find a way to win. So we have to find more ways to win. So to do that, we need to be able to be adaptable in structure, tactically. We need to be, flexibility in what we do. And once we can learn these new things, then maybe this will assist us being able to win. I'm hoping so. So that's how I'm going to try to solve that. So I'm a bit proactive with it, but at the same time, it's a balancing act. I don't want to become a boring team.
Yeah.
No, and I think Ben and I touched on this. That's very much Ben and I. We love to sit back and we watch the little things unfold more. Very, that sort of.
It's the 30 seconds before the goal, not the 10 seconds before the goal. We look at everything.
Yeah, but it's just more so. Even just players that we'll get messages and like, oh, he's not doing anything. I'm like, he's doing his job.
Yeah.
He's creating space.
Stephen Ugarkovic was the crux of that. If you didn't notice him in a game, he was doing his job properly.
Yeah. Look, there's guys like Costa Grozos will screen and cover. He had a top season last year. He developed hugely as a player. So that was a lot to do with backing him in a key role consistently. And I got the return. And he played literally the whole season with stress, like a tendinopathy sort of thing on his hamstring, where it was a bit, felt like he had issues with it. So we had to manage that the whole season, but you wouldn't have known. He could feel it was a bit sore all the time, but he kept pushing, and we kept exposing him. Then we kept resting him, and he had an inflamed Achilles, so he's getting treatment for that. So we carried all these little niggles, but at the same time he seemed to manage that and just get on with it. So it just showed his durability and what he was really capable of. So he's one player that at times you mightn't have noticed him, but he was doing his job. He was doing it really, really well. So, more guys, I guess, like that in certain moments doing their job help us as well. But look, it's there's if you watch the Euros, and I'm sure you guys have, or the Copa America. Now you look at Italy, renowned for defensively great. Did they lack spark in the tournament? Yeah, maybe. But and then you see Georgia and what they've done. They've been exciting. You've seen the Austrians, the Swiss. They've actually they look very, very good. Spain look a bit different from what they've normally. They've become effective with the ball, and just look like they're doing serious damage. England
Yeah.
have been a little bit boring, but they're probably going to get to the final.
England have been very England.
Yeah, but you know what? They got when you look at their players. Wow, some
Yeah.
top players. Maybe they're just they're doing their job just to get to that next level, which might be the final. So just remember they made the final last time. So
Yep.
I'm not. I wouldn't rule them out. I wouldn't rule anyone out at this point
No,
because now it gets down to you just got to win. It doesn't matter how you win or when you win. You just got to find a way to win. So yeah, maybe not be that free flowing football we're seeing from some of the players when they're in their clubs, but national team's a different beast. So yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. A couple of quick ones before we let you go, mate. Obviously, we've signed Ferreira. One of the boys just whacked in here. What are your thoughts like on his pros and his cons? What are the things you've signed him for, but what are the things that you want to try and help him better develop?
Well, I've been told by a couple of key people that he potentially will go better than Leighton Taylor. So that's from some prominent people.
Right.
I've seen, I saw in the first week why a few people might have said that because he has certain qualities. He's got a lot of work to do, but again, he's worth the investment to bring and because there's things about him. Remember, he's already played lots of games already, NPL one, 17 and 18, so he's got that exposure at a high level. He trained a lot with the A League prior to having an injury, and he's actually come back from an injury that kept him out for a long time. So unpredictable, direct. So once we teach him the structures and defensive and things like that as well, he could do anything. Young Nunes this week has surprised me in in-house games with his calmness and composure. Different player to Oscar. Oscar's like on the front foot, aggressive when he picks the ball. Nunes is calculating, positions well, picks up the ball, and then just reads the game really well. So he's been a breath of fresh air to watch him just come. He's been training with us a bit, but and now he's official that he's a player in the squad. He was great too. Like he surprised me. So Eli Adams has come in and
he's a talent.
Won the Bronco. So we did a Bronco test. Surprised me. Won because I would if I asked me at the start, was he going to win it? No chance. There's others will smash him. He actually won it. So so I look at him and go, he hasn't had a lot of exposures at A-League level. He's had a lot and not enough. But if you give him enough, we'll see what others have seen. So yeah, I'm excited to see what he's going to do. So yeah, it's just new faces for the fans to see. Trying to balance it with guys developing coming through from our club. Trying to pick the eyes out of talent that I think will be good for the club. That'll fit culture, fit the community, fit what the fans want to see. Keep working with them. Just trying to balance things out. Ideally, you want to over time you want to increase your homegrown players because you always know that they'll always play passionately about for the club. So, but there's been like neglect for that in the last few years. So we've got to go back and solve that, which I think we're doing. And the pieces of the puzzle are slowly coming together. And I'm excited by the new guys. I've got a key player to sign up top. Maybe one more player. So I'm going to run less players this year, which I think if I look at last year, there was players that didn't play for injuries, players that didn't get a lot of game time. I think run a bit less, back the players like I will, but try bring in senior centre back, which I have. I get that 9, that sort of senior guy up top. And let's face it, Stemmer's going to be a bit of a marked man. So if I've got another guy that's going to attract, it might free him up to score more goals. Clayton Taylor bagged 7 goals last year. He's going to be sort of attention. So maybe an Eli Adams is going to surprise everyone, and he's going to get free more, or Oscar or Nunes is going to get his chance and go. Look at me, I'm homegrown boy. I'm going to show you what I can do. So. Mate, it's exciting.
Sounds very exciting, mate. So we're pretty much at the point now where you're like maybe one or two, and that's pretty much.
Two.
So we're about two.
Yeah.
Yeah. So two
Look, if we
signings,
get
guys.
two, we
Yep.
have discussions about we'll keep our eyes open for some more scholarships. Now that
Yeah.
might come within the club.
Yep.
I'm not ruling that out. That might come from outside. We will assess what we have. We'll assess not only the current group that we're maybe looking at, but a year or two before that, before they're ready, and that might alter our decision what we do, because scholarships are good. More scholarships will give us more depth, more exposure to players. So, like, I'm not ruling that out. I know that Morris is keen on that as well. So,
Yeah.
I just look. I'm happy to invest time in the players.
Yep.
Because I think if we get it right, we'll get rewarded. We really will. I believe that. So, I'm hoping that the fans will see enough again this year to go right. We're on a little build here. We're on
Yeah.
an incline. We're going up, and we're getting closer and closer and closer.
Yep.
And that's what I'm hoping to deliver to the fans.
Absolutely. It sounds sounds exciting. Last year was exciting. It was breath 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 of fresh air. Like it was just really good to watch on the pitch. The talent, the youth, delivering, doing really well.
Yeah.
Archie getting plenty of minutes was fantastic.
Yeah.
A little bit disappointing.
Disappointing that
He's
it's
moved on.
disappointing that Archie kind of left. We had some good conversations,
Yeah.
and when you talk to him, he's like, I think this year gave him the confidence to say, I need to go challenge myself. I need to get out of my comfort.
Yeah.
So the downside of that was he got 20 appearances or available for 20 games, which we did a lot of work to get him there. It also gave him the confidence to say, I do want to play overseas. The first
Yeah.
stage of that is I need to go live away and be uncomfortable. A bit like what I did as a coach, I said I wanted to come and feel uncomfortable to be better. I kind of like get it why he did it. I was hoping, he probably wouldn't do it because I thought this year was going to be good for him. But I kind of like respect what he's going to do, and if it all goes to plan for him, he will get his chance overseas. So, and then one day he'll come back, and I know he'll want to come back and play for Newcastle. So, because it's in his blood, but it kind of feels like impression I got. I need to go test myself in my comfort zone. So, it's disappointing, but you got to look at it what he wants.
Yep.
And he was pretty open. He was clear. And I reckon it was bothering him for a long time because I think he was like having lots of conversations, and I could tell it was bothering him. And so
look, at the end of the day, he's gone to the right club. I think if he'd sort of gone to a few of the other clubs
That's
in
the
the
first thing I said.
I probably would have been a little bit confused.
if he gone and didn't get 20 exposures this year, which I think he will, like he got this year, then it would be the wrong decision. So I think part of the deal for him was moving away from home and getting used to that. So if you go to Europe or whatever, he'll be used to living away from home, not having family there. So that's a big step. When you got your family around you, you come home, they'll pick you up when things aren't going well, and they would have picked him up on a lot of occasions. So that's not going to be there. So he wanted that. He wanted to be often to find his feet. So good on him.
Yeah,
before him, a bit disappointed, but at the same time, for me, I just want players like him to achieve their goals, mate. So
exactly.
Like Stammer, national team, Ben Van Dorsen, it's going to wear the green and gold. Good on him. He's probably wanted that for a long time, and he's gonna achieve that. So that might be the catalyst that turns him into an A-League player that I know he can be. So these exposures are great. So, and there's another one we'll get announced soon too. So which is great. So I'm excited by this one as well. So I only found out today. So
very good, very good. So last couple here, guys. We're going to let him go. So what do we got here? One of the guys has put in the chat. Favorite goal from last season?
It's a good one. There was a lot of good goals I felt. I'll probably go build up one against Sydney FC at home, the reverse pass for Reno,
Yeah.
because it was such we just kind of dismantled them. There's a couple of goals in there, like where Clay got free in a transition.
Yeah.
Mate, there was one, I think, really early on. Trent whipped one in on an angled pass. Stemmer headed on an angle. Look, Clayton Taylor's half volley against Victory round 2 was
Yeah.
unbelievable. Gross hit a bomb round 1. I just think I'll go for a team goal, because that build-up goal, there was one against Brisbane in the Unite round. Steinsy reverse pass. So 2 reverse passes from Steinsy, actually. So probably the ones Reno's, he roofed it, the net. It was a great build-up, run off the shoulder, because they were aggressive press as well. So to get through the press and find solutions, I was pretty pleased with that, because I asked them to, and that was probably a pretty good goal, I think. Probably some more I've forgotten about, but
I think
I liked it. I thought it was a great goal.
I think
Correct me if
Taylor,
I'm wrong, Josh, but I'm pretty sure that goal, the reverse pass against Sydney, I'm pretty sure I typed something into the chat after that going, I don't think I've ever seen a Jets team ever dismantle a team apart for a goal like that, ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely been
the boys were very brave in how they did that. At times it looked dangerous, but to be honest, it wasn't dangerous, because we practiced stuff like that all the time. So it was they just made the right decisions. They knew how to get around the press, and they just made right decisions at the right time. And then it took a good finish. So it was excited. I was like, just happy for the boys, and they celebrated like it was their best goal too, if you look at the celebration. So you just saw that unity on the pitch. So I think the fans would have probably loved that. That'd be interesting to ask them, fans, what they think of it as well, what their favourite goal was. So it'd be a good one to ask what the favourite goal was. So I
there you go, guys, in the chat.
Yeah.
Why do I feel like I'm going to spend the next couple of days in Premiere Pro cutting them all?
Mate, there was a good amount. So look, I think when I think back, that was probably it.
Yeah, Taylor didn't score many shit goals.
No.
He must hate looking at them back. Jesus.
And if I told you he got battered a few times, but he also carried a little bit of inflamed groins, which was sort of slowing him down a bit. So we had to manage that. So there was a couple of times where he looked not right, but that was more due to that he was a bit sore in his area, so he couldn't move well, but he still found a way to score 7 goals. So first year, I thought that was pretty good. So I was pretty happy with that too.
Yeah, no, I'll look after the coach and stuff, mate. I think Bowles' friggin' peach top bins was pretty spectacular, mate. Hit that one at training. Ryan Scott, poor bugger, didn't even know what was going on.
Bolo's got a nice left foot strike on him.
Oh yeah.
He hit it well.
Yeah, he hit it well. Hits him well. He would have loved that moment. So he did it. He strikes the ball well.
Exactly. Knew where the camera was there. Too easy, mate. Well, we're going to slowly let you go. There are a few questions in here, but guys, we'll get into these further. We'll try and get him on maybe just before he goes away for the Australian Cup match up there, top end, which it'll be exciting. Another trip back up there, mate, to try and tackle or try and get over Western United. So
I'd rather play A-League teams all the time if I can. It's a little bit early as always, so there's this risk that I'm obviously concerned with. Sush will probably travel, but he will only be a few days back from his honeymoon. So we'll have a pretty good team out there. We'll be going out to try and win that as well. As always, we never not try to win games, but it's be great to have a cup run. Unfortunately, we had to start a little bit earlier, but everyone sort of maybe has to start a bit earlier this year. So it was a top trip last year. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to it. We also did a Coffs Harbour trip last year, which was really good in our community one with our sponsors. So those trips and things are really good for building the players' connections and that. So, yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to it. It's a good one to
Yeah.
get away. Darwin's interesting place too, to be honest. So,
I know the
Yeah, well,
boys. I know the boys in green and black will be wearing armbands that.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Mate of the show. Obviously passed away, unfortunately, but yeah, friggin'. I think you seen Scotty down there, didn't you? At the
Yeah, I
funeral?
saw Scotty at the funeral.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, mate. It all seems exciting. So, as I said, we'll touch on more in-depth stuff, I guess, getting close a bit more on the formation side of things and what you're thinking there. There wasn't too much change up through the year in regards to that, so we'll see how you're tracking with that sort of stuff. But yeah, mate, we appreciate it. For you jumping on, and again, hopefully another good season to come, and yeah, those last season little errors and learning curves will be fixed, and we'll close out games and absolutely.
we're working on it. We've already started to. We've just gone through some structural changes, but
Yeah.
once we get into the flow of things, it'll be game related things that we need to solve. So
Yeah.
Moments in games that where you get hurt, we'll be working hard on those key moments, and yeah, we try and keep developing the players. The idea is to make them better, and if we can do that, get more shutouts. We'll close games out, or we'll win games. We'll get enough in front where because it was always close. I think the only time we really got away from was maybe Sydney and Wellington away. So
Yep.
I was quite proud of the fact we were always in games too. If we were just behind, we weren't too far behind. Maybe once or twice we were behind and couldn't get back in for whatever reason, but it never blew out too far that we let ourselves down. So I was really pleased with that. That has to be part of our DNA at all costs. So I'll make that very clear to the players. We don't want blowouts or anything like that. We've got to work and die till we get the results. So that's the best thing about this group, to be honest. It's really pleased with them that they last year when we had a lot of stuff overhanging our head with ownership and that, they kept focused. So for a young group to do that, I think there was a lot in that. I think the fans appreciated that as well. So, yep, onwards and upwards from those moments for this year.
Absolutely, guys. So we just want to thank everyone for jumping in the chat tonight. If the questions weren't answered, feel free, send them through as always, and we will try and get them answered. If not, save them for the next one. Just a couple of quick ones. We're at about just ticked over 4,000 members, which is a plus in the plus range from last season. So, obviously the fans were obviously noticed what was going on and how you and the boys were traveling last year. So the numbers are up there, which is great to see. So if you haven't renewed your membership or signed up for a while, be sure to do so. It should be an entertaining season. And next week we got Ryan Scott on. Speaking of the Scotty, so he's going to jump on next week, Tuesday night, 8:00. So if you've got any questions, feel free, whack them in there. And
Get them in early because I won't be here to organise them all.
That's it. Get them in early. So, but other than that, mate, that's about it. Obviously, Joey Champness signed for the Jets, all the old boys Jets fans. Joey Champness to Auckland. Very interesting there. Gone home there. So hopefully doesn't do too well over there. But yeah, I suppose that's another interesting one. New team in Rob as well. Should be an interesting.
Yeah, we've actually discussed about a trial game with him. So it's not locked in, but I've had chat with Stevie. He rang me and said, "You interested?" I said, "Yep, mate, we'll play you 100%." So probably be in Sydney because they're going to spend some time there. So it'll definitely happen, I think. So I'm looking forward to that. New team, different for the fans is going to be exciting. Another trip for us to New Zealand as well. So they got a big budget as well, so it'll be interesting to see what sort of team they're able to piece together. So it's gonna it's good. New faces in the comp, new team's gonna be exciting for everyone as well. So it'll be really good. I'm looking forward to facing them, and we'll get to play them quite early, so it'll be good.
Absolutely. So, I suppose you're going to need games to tune up ready for the Australian Cup game. I'm guessing you're going to look at doing something there, surely.
Yeah, we got a game against Sydney. Sydney called us and said, "Would you play?" And because it's actually early for them, so they want to hit the ground running themselves. So I said, "Yeah, we'll play." And opportunity to get boys We never had that last year. We only played in-house games, so we had a week less to get ready, which wasn't great. Did a great job doing it. So this year we've just given another 4 or 5 days more, and we're going to squeeze a game in beforehand. So it's an opportunity to just see if we're sort of in a good space, which I feel will be okay. So not everyone on deck, but at least we'll get some minutes behind closed doors against Sydney, which will be obviously a good team again. So it's good. I'll play them any day just to expose us to challenge us every game. So just
Absolutely.
good.
Very good, mate. Beautiful. You've heard it there, guys. We want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. Benny, thanks again.
Always a pleasure, my friend.
Keep your eyes on Jets Facebook. It's going nuts at the moment. The boys are doing fantastic there. So a couple of signings, as Rob said, coming in the next little bit. So keep your eyes there.
Yeah, got a bit of work to do.
Yeah.
Got a little bit to do. I'm working on it. I'm taking my time. I'm just trying to get the right person and people. So
that's it.
I'll just
be
patient.
That fit. It's got to be that right
Hopefully,
fit.
fingers crossed.
No worries, mate. We appreciate it.
Appreciate having me on. Thank you. Take care.
See you soon, mate.
Cheers,
See you,
mate.
See you guys. Bye.
No worries, guys. Tell you, we're going to wrap it there, mate. So enjoy the football week if you get on. Obviously, there's plenty of rain about, so can't imagine too much football getting on this weekend. But if you do, happy days, lucky you. As we mentioned, Ryan Scott next week. As for Benny, I'm not sure whether he'll be here or not. He's got to be on.
I will not be here.
There we go. So either running solo, or if anyone wants to stick their hand up, feel free. Always open to have someone else join me here. So it's nothing more boring than talking to yourself, I guess.
You just need to fix your computer beforehand so that I don't have to run the podcast like tonight.
No, mate. No. I'll go out and get a cord, mate. Don't stress.
This one's coming to you live, ladies and gentlemen, all the way via Melbourne. From the COVID cesspool.
Come on, mate. Bet time you done some work. Jesus.
Don't make me cough. It hurts.
Righto, guys. But again, we appreciate everyone for jumping on. If you haven't liked, subscribed, the Facebook page, the YouTube channel, and so forth, we appreciate it. We don't expect it, but we do appreciate it. If you've got any questions or any thoughts or anything like that, feel free to email us or obviously contact us via Instagram or Messenger. We'll take any feedback, criticism. I know one of the regulars, Aiden, likes to jump on and give me my stats count on how many times I said something ridiculous or ums or ands and ifs and buts and whatevers. So it is what it is, mate. We're not professionals. If I was a professional journo, I'd have a lot of I don't know, a lot of reporters' jobs in my back pocket, I'd imagine.
He also wouldn't be using a headset, mate.
Yeah. Hang on. The other one.
I was about to say, where's your snowball?
The other one, it's just died, all right? So
Yeah,
I need a new one. So any of the sponsors out there want to sponsor me a new one? Happy days.
HyperX, we're looking at you.
HyperX, absolutely. Sign us up. Because it shit itself and I need a new one. So
Audio Technica, if you listen.
When's Big Shane getting on? Yeah, look, at the end of the day, we'll touch base with Shane. I wasn't expecting to get Morris on for the second week in a row. I'd imagine those boys will be pretty busy over the coming weeks, considering that everything's going on. They should hopefully get their results back from their I guess their background check is the easiest way to put it, I suppose.
Oh, the fit and proper owners test or whatever it is, yeah.
Yeah, the fit and proper owners test. So crossing their T's and dotting their I's and so forth. So hopefully the results should come back soon for that. But as we said, guys, the membership numbers are up, which is a massive plus. So if you haven't rejoined or whatever it is, be sure to do so. It's going to be hopefully a banging season. We're going to see plenty of youth, and I think that's one thing we've seen across the board. I think last year was plenty of errors. It wasn't. Again, we're Jets supporters, right? So we're going to see all of ours. But I think across the board, every club, plenty of errors in their game, whether it be their last 15 minutes or, they don't show up for the first 20 minutes of the game or whatever it is. Everyone sort of had that something that just wasn't quite right. And I think that is just down to the amount of youth players.
Yeah, I think last season as well for every club, I'm pretty sure it was pretty close to every club's youngest average starting 11 age or average roster age. was
Yeah.
down significantly lower than what it has been in previous years.
Yep.
So of course, with more youth comes more likelihood of an error or falling into traps.
Yep.
Mindset traps and stuff like that.
Exactly. So, yeah. Other than that, hope everyone's enjoying the football still. Euros are on. The America got knocked out in the group stage. Home country out of the Euros first time in a long time, I think, in the group stage. So big.
Oh, Copa
big
America,
concerns. Yeah, big concerns there out of the United States because that shouldn't have happened. As far as I'm concerned, they should have definitely got through the group.
Oh, yeah.
Costa, what can I say? It's only because I'm half Portuguese, Ben. Haven't said that in a while. But Costa saved their ass on the other morning. Thank Christ. Good to see. So we've got to tackle France now, which should be pretty straightforward considering they haven't scored a goal from open play themselves.
Yeah, they've been fucking shocking.
Yeah, in the tournament yet. So
granted, so have we, but everyone's fucking Jude's carrying the entirety of England on his shoulders right now.
Yeah. So it's and probably is probably going to cop a fine or some sort of.
He don't care. He's making Madrid. He's making Madrid levels of money. He don't care.
Yeah.
He'll sit there and go, "All right, lads, I've done all the work for you to get out of the group stage. You do it without me now."
I was going to say he scored a bicycle. Surely everyone else should be just chipping into their own pocket, right?
Yeah, everyone should be putting in money. Yeah, everyone should be paying for his fine. He's been carrying him.
Not only do I save your ass, but I done it in style.
What can I say? He's one of our own.
There's the fine. BPay details down the bottom.
Yeah.
It's off his go. So yeah, it's good to see plenty of football, plenty of good players getting watched. I think as well. There was a young bloke from Romania.
Yeah.
This morning. Whew, can't remember his name off the top of my head, but damn,
Romania have been a bit of a surprise package, as of Georgia.
Yeah, obviously got beat this morning, Romania, but again, they look good. They still look good. Even Turkey and Austria was a really good game. Turkey coming out of the blocks, pretty much first kick of the game to score the opener, but Austria come back there to sort of make it a little bit interesting at the end. So, it's been good. Plenty of good football. Ronaldo's possible last tournament, hopefully. Again, that's coming from me as a Portuguese supporter. So, I don't know. I don't know. He's.
My biggest thing once Georgia started firing,
yeah.
First thing I did was went and look at their team list and see if Beko Mikultadze's name was on. Nowhere to be seen.
No, mate, no. But again, they looked really good. They done what any team should do, right? Against a team that in a game that they're not expected to win, they're not expected to have a chance in hell, and that is literally run for 90 minutes. And that's exactly what they did. They pushed. They moved the ball really well when they had it.
Yeah.
The low percentages they had. They looked dangerous when they had the ball. So for them, it was really good. But again, Costa saved their ass, mate. Friggin' three saves from the penalty spot. You don't get much better than that. So yeah, interesting.
3 saves from 3 terrible penalties.
Oh, absolutely. You could definitely tell they
3 terrible penalties.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's no question they were pretty shocking. I could have saved those ones. But yeah. Happy days. Anyway, we're going to leave it there, mate. So, what do we got? We'll see much younger squads across the league. Absolutely. Yeah,
we've been doing that for years.
Yeah. I was going to say it's standard for us. So, but yeah. Anyway, other than that, we'll see you guys. I'll see you guys next week. You won't see Benny, but he'll be back. We've got plenty of more stuff coming in the coming weeks, hopefully. And
make sure Scotty wears his suit. I know he owns one now.
That's it. I'll get him to wear the Jets tie.
The ones that we were sent years ago and never received.
That's it. We'll ask him about his handicap, find out what his handicap is. Got a bit of golf in obviously off season, so see how he's travelling there. So too easy, guys. Other than that, we'll catch you guys next time. And good to see the Central Coast Mariners getting rid of some of their stars. Happy days. Another young off overseas. So
win a treble, fall apart.
Yeah, it's it. Sucks when you win games, doesn't it?
Yeah. The curse of being good in the A-League.
Yeah, that was it was always our running joke, I think. Bloody friggin', who are we going to lose this year? Nobody. Come wooden spooners. No one wants any of them.
Yeah.
So, anyway, guys, take it easy. We'll catch you next time. See you next week.
Oh wait, before we do, hopefully this goes out. I think I've got it on the button. Hang on, and
We hate Coast Scum.
I think it went out. Let us know, chat, if it went out. Yeah. Maybe.
I didn't hear it.
Maybe.
I didn't hear it.
We don't
Did
hear
you
it.
hear it, Newbie? Did you hear it, Newbie, or do you just know that we hate Coast Scum?
I'll laugh if it didn't go out. If it's not, I'm not trying to do it.
No. But anyway. Yep, there it is.
Yes!
It worked. Happy days. Righto, guys. Take it easy. See you next week. Enjoy your football wherever you're watching it. See you guys.
Ciao.